People can get caught up in all kinds of obsessive thoughts, from worries about whether they'll fail at something, to worries about whether they've made a mistake or offended someone, to recurring troubling ideas, often connected to violence or sex or doing something socially inappropriate. Sometimes they can be open-ended what-if thoughts, like, what if I did that, or what if there's something wrong with me, or what if I've offended someone, which never have an end to them. It can be very distracting and frustrating to have the same thoughts repeatedly running through your mind, especially when you can sometimes clearly see that they're not grounded in reality. But what's worse is that many sufferers of obsessive thoughts start to worry about the fact that they're having these thoughts and imagine that there's something wrong with them as a person, or that maybe these thoughts reveal some terrible truth about them which they have to struggle to suppress. This can create a cycle of self-doubt and internal conflict, where the more you try to push the thoughts out of your head, and the more you worry that there's something wrong with you, the worse your emotional response gets. And the truth is that having inappropriate thoughts doesn't reveal any dark, terrible truth about you. Or if it does, it's a terrible truth that's true of just about every human being on the planet. Because the human brain has a natural, strong tendency to produce random, wandering thoughts sometimes. And some of these will be influenced by our primal instincts connected to fear, anger, sex, and violence. The psychologist Stanley Rachman did a survey of college students and found that practically all of them had intrusive thoughts sometimes, ranging from thoughts of harming strangers or people close to them to blasphemous images or thoughts of sexual violence. So having inappropriate thoughts is a natural human trait and is a fundamental part of our consciousness. It is not, in itself, a sign of any flaw or weakness. The only difference between an obsessive inappropriate thought and an everyday inappropriate thought is the amount of emotion and significance you habitually give to the thought. Because it's emotion that holds obsessive thinking in place as a pattern. The more emotion you attach to a thought, whether it's anxiety, frustration, or guilt, the more significance you end up assigning to it. And the more significant it seems, the more your brain will naturally tend towards thinking about it. The emotional arousal that has become attached to those obsessive thoughts is like a sort of tag, signaling to the brain that this is something important. So this session is not about trying to suppress inappropriate thoughts, because that's just part of the same old pattern, creating an internal struggle and so causing more emotional arousal. That would be like spending hours desperately trying not to think about penguins wearing top hats. You just can't do it. Instead, as you deeply relax to the hypnotic part of this session, you'll be learning to calm down around those thoughts, to emotionally detach from them, and to therefore change the tags connected to those thoughts so that instead of signaling important and significant, they signal brain junk, just another bit of flotsam and jetsam washed up from the great ocean of consciousness. And you can really look forward to being able to look at those thoughts with so much more indifference and having them be a normal, fleeting distraction so that the tide can take them away again as you turn your attention towards what's really important and finding out how many more wonderful things you're capable of when you have the time and the space to channel your energy in resourceful directions.